Listen up, you beautiful bastards. I'm Insipid, and this is Trove. What are we doing? We're having another one of those conversations, and gosh golly, buckle up and get ready to go. This one is not an easy one for me. Literally, and figuratively, and existentially. It's a difficult one because it has a lot of emotion built into it. It has a lot of very difficult concepts, both at the social, political level, the psychological level. There are many levels and dimensions of it that just do not lend themselves to an easy conversation about it. And so I want to apologize. I've already recorded this once, and I failed horrifically. Ugh! Damn it, I'm pissed. I tried so hard to really manage it effectively. And in the end, what I experienced, what I encountered was that I just could not easily, in one take, handle the conversation. There was much that I wanted to do. There was much that I wanted to accomplish. Honestly, the topic deserves a lot of really good, careful conversation. I see Lutonic here. I'm going to try and talk to him as soon as I can. But I'm talking to you guys for right now. You, me, you, us. We're having this experience. What is the topic and why would Insipid feel so bent out of shape about it? Well, it's gun control. We've had a lot of tragedy in our country, and there's been plenty of tragedy across the world in terms of not gun control necessarily, but I would refer more extensively to the inclination to do harm. And there's so little that we can do about that sometimes. There's so little that we can do about the fact, and it is a fact, there is a quotient of people in our lives, in our world, who are prepared to use violence to express themselves. And at no point do I wish to try and pity those people. It is to say that they lost the other mechanisms of communication they had available to them. We've conversed extensively about the nature of good communication and how important it is. And I would say that applies here. But I don't want to muddle the conversation about gun control in the USA with that. There are a great number of points that I want to cover, and I'm going to try and cover them once. Again, it is a deeply convoluted conversation, and I want to admit that I have no good answers. I have thoughts, I have ideas, I have suggestions, but it is clearly a problem well and beyond me. If I had the answer, I would have given it to some, bureaucrat by now, and we'd have solved the situation, and it would all be very, very good. But it's not. It's not, okay? It's full of shit, and people are dead. And it sucks. Let me put that in big, bold letters right there. It sucks. It sucks, and I hate it. And I'm sorry that that's where we are right now. So I'm going to just jump right on in beyond that. There's an ongoing conversation in my country about gun control and controlling guns and keeping people safe. And good. Okay? Good. I'm glad that the conversation's happening. If nothing else, we are communicating with each other about what we believe to be the truth. Awesome. Good start. But what does that translate into in terms of the actual solutions? Because we can talk all day about what we believe the problem is, but Insipid is a solution-oriented kind of guy. And so, if you look at the problem of guns being used to commit violence, there are many dimensions of the act that go into the discussion of how it happened and how to handle it. The primary discussion that happens right now is you have a student who is psychologically distressed, and they take a weapon or weapons to their place of learning, and they kill or maim as many people as they can. That's horrific. That is a horrifically explicit description of what's going on. And honestly, that's where we need to start. If we are unprepared or so immature that we are unable to even express what's happening, we're not ready to deal with the problem. Now, the notion that it is of a staggering nature is true. It's good. That is correct and that is accurate. And that exemplifies its importance, in my opinion. We cannot shy away from conversations because they make us uncomfortable. If anything, an uncomfortable conversation should be the reason that we accentuate it as an important, necessary conversation. We must pursue these topics, aggressively even, and I believe it'd be worthwhile. I'm going to go ahead and lay out my vision of what's wrong and the optimal way to handle it. But I welcome you guys to comment in the area below to help me. I am one goofy guy who has this tiny brain, and I can't do it alone. I can't wrap my mind around it alone. It's only together that we can pull this off. So, moving forward, I want to comment briefly on the current suggestions, the current suggested solutions, and kind of where they come from. And then I want to go into mine. 1, it's violent video games and violent television and violent depictions in media in general. I disagree. To express that disagreement a bit more firmly, I disagree, and anyone who wants to try and peddle that is a fucking moron. Because we have had violent, horrific depictions of human activities throughout all time. Coincidentally, we've also been horrifically violent throughout all time. Our favorite stories are those of adventure and conquest. And to suggest that it is media training us to be school shooters, maybe you can go fuck yourself. Just a teeny tiny bit. Now, I'm not going to disregard media as a socializing factor. Because you always have friends, family, religion, school, media, and every other influence on a person's psyche, but to try and suggest that it is media itself that's doing this, it's short-sighted, and it's less than us. We deserve more. Blew up the wall. I did it bad. So that's where I'm standing right there on that particular argument. We can do better than that. The other is that we just outright ban a gun or guns, etc., etc., etc. Any level of attempt to restrict access to weapons is, in my opinion, foolhardy. And again, this is opinion. Please, below, let me know just how wrong I am. Explain to me. Please help me. I want to do better. I want to know better. But you take away guns, people are more than tickled to stab each other. Take away knives, people are more than happy to choke each other to death. If one person desperately desires to harm another, they will find a way. Much like a Goldblum would say, humans will find a way to fucking kill each other. If that is what they desire to do. But that does dump us straight into the next point that I wanted to bring to bear. We are having very human experiences right now. Both in terms of our experience of the tragedy and the people who themselves committed it. I won't delve into the mind of a shooter. That's not my place. But anyone who is so desperately uninhibited by the prospect of ending someone else's life, there is an amount of distress that has occurred there. Unresolved anxiety, strain, and angst. And to deny the existence of their experience is again foolhardy. Now, do we need to use school shootings as a means by which to encourage people to continue doing school shootings so that they can properly express themselves? No! I wish that we could actually have a system in life wherein these individuals felt safe and comfortable expressing themselves unrebuked so that they could have sought help beforehand. And this dumps straight into, as I was saying before, mental health. We have an abysmal system in this country, in my opinion, for mental health. It's underfunded, it's understaffed, and it's, generally speaking, unaccessible, because we are so busy trying to not be starving and homeless that we don't have the ability to go check in with a therapist once a week, once a month, or whatever. But we don't have the luxury of taking care of ourselves, and so we don't. We forego it. And that leaves so much to be gained, so much wanting in the scenario, and I wish that we had more. I wish that we had greater accessibility. I wish we had greater choice in terms of getting mental health in this country. And then after that, just in terms of how to deal with the problem, it's flat out education. There is a great deal of hustle and bustle on both sides right now, trying to shout the other side down, just butting of heads, crying out, "You don't understand. You don't understand the nature of the problem from my perspective." And both sides cry out, "No, your perspective is wrong. You're a terrible person for having it." Damn it, that's so unproductive. I know we've talked on the channel about communication in the past, but this is definitely one of those moments where we've refused to do so with each other. To our detriment. Lives lost in the effort. And so, going beyond that, I wish very desperately that we could have a level of education concerning guns in our country. On so many levels. Teaching children what guns do, how they operate. What does a gunshot wound do? Basic medical care for a gunshot wound. Basic medical care for all wounds. Teaching people about the danger of guns. How to secure them safely. How to, if someone is an active shooter, how to avoid them. What do you do when there's an active shooter? Take concealment. If you can't find cover, at least go with concealment. When you have the chance, escape. You can't escape. if nothing else, put up a fight. And it's trying to train people around the idea of guns. I think that it's entirely antithetical in my country to suggest that we get rid of guns. They are very much enshrined in both our Constitution, in our culture. On so many levels, we have them as part of our lifestyle. And you don't carve yourself up to try and make yourself more whole. There are ways that are productive that we can attempt to address the gap in mental health and knowledge, and those are consistently regarded as being too time-consuming, too expensive, and beyond political feasibility. And that's going to be my final complaint. It is a complaint on my part in this situation, that we have politicians downright giddy with the advent of tragedy because it's good for the narrative. We need to be better than our narratives. Trying to exclaim guns are good or guns are bad is not productive. And I don't want my prior statements to be viewed as such. I don't say that guns are good or guns are bad. I say that guns are part of our society and part of our culture. And we need to live up to that. And the way we do that is through mental health, making sure that we are healthy people, that we are able to experience each other's reality in a safe and habitable way. And then after that, that we know about what we're holding, or we know about what we see other people holding. Because I've never seen education go without dividends. And that it is such a reluctantly suggested solution saddens me. We deserve so much more. And I hope that with time we can grow to better understand each other. It's been a tough topic, and I hope that you were able to enjoy it to what extent you could. Again, please, down below, if you have thoughts or suggestions in terms of how we could do this better, I would love to have the conversation with you. With that, it's been real. It's been fun. And I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Take care, everybody.